we are starting with an isotopes today. Okay, we are going to talk about the isotopes today. So isotopes are the different atoms of the same element which are existing. Now, for example, this is a picture where we have the atoms of magnesium. They're showing us the atoms of magnesium. So we can see that there's purple atoms there, some are blue and some are white. So all these are atoms of magnesium. Now, because why are they called the atoms of magnesium? Because they have the same atomic number. And we learned this, that what is an atomic number? Atomic number is the number of protons which are existing in the nucleus of an atom. So that is the first identity of the magnesium atom, right? Now, they all have the atomic number 12, but their atomic masses. And what is an atomic mass? That is also we have learned. So mass is actually whatever the nucleus, the particles, the subparticles which are present in the nucleus. That means the number of protons, the number of neutrons, right? So they combinedly give the mass of an atom. So here there are masses, there are atoms of magnesium with a slight variation. They have a slight differences here. Now these are the atoms of the magnesium with a slight variation in their masses. Okay, we can say that the one atom has a mass of 24, right? They have a mass of 24. The another atom has a mass of 25, and the third atom has a mass of 26. But the atomic numbers, that remains the same, and that is why we consider them all as an atom of magnesium. So these atom of magnesium has a slight variation in their atomic masses. Now, what is atomic mass? Atomic mass, we have already studied. Atomic mass is actually the sum of protons and neutrons. So, and the atomic number we studied, that is actually the number of protons. And the number of protons in all these atoms is same. That's 12, 12, and 12. So that means the number 12 is common. So atomic mass, these atoms have a variable, has a variation in the number of neutrons. That is why the total is coming different. So if the atomic mass in one case is, let's say it's 24. So that means its atomic number is 12, but its neutron number is again going to be 12. The atom with a mass of 25 will be having atomic number 12, but then the neutrons are going to be different, that is 13. And the atomic mass of an atom with 26 will be having 12 as a proton number, but its neutrons are going to be 14. So we can clearly see that these atoms which are different for the magnesium atom, for the magnesium element, their variation lies only in the different number of neutrons, and they have the same number of protons. That is the reason they are all called the atoms of magnesium only. Okay, so this variation give us the mass differences of different atoms of magnesium. Okay, now in a periodic table, as we have seen above, now we have seen the periodic table above like this. Okay, so this is not actually the original periodic table, but in the periodic table, whenever the element is written down, we always have the mass number also written. Like for example, hydrogen 1 and 1. That is what I explained in the when we talked about the element tablet. So if sodium is written, we'll be having the atomic number, that's 11, and the mass number 23. Same goes for if we call about magnesium, the tablet, the elements description will be giving us 12 as the atomic number and 24 as a mass number. Now, in this periodic table, we are not writing each isotope's atomic mass. So here we have to give the atomic mass which is existing for that particular element, जो भी उसके isotopes हैं, on their relative abundance and on the basis of the relative abundance of all the isotopes, right? So we take an average of all that. Now, for example, in this case, which we were seeing here, now in this case, we can clearly see that the magnesium has 3 isotopes, 1, 2, and 3. And they have also specified the percentage of these isotopes existing. So on the basis of their percentage abundance and on the basis of the different masses they have, 24, 25, and 26, we'll take out the average of these. Now we will be calculating it as 79% of 24 added to 10% of 25 added to 11% of 26. When we will simplify, we'll get one value. And that value is considered to be magnesium's atomic number. That is going to be your 24. Okay, simplify it and let me know what is going to be the value. And that value will be a rounded, when you round off that value, that will come to be around 24. So compute it and give me the value. What is it coming? As I said, that this value will be in the decimal, but in the periodic table, you're going to round it off. So when rounded off, it will be coming as 24. So that is going to be one atomic mass on the basis of the percentage abundance and the average of all those masses, which is actually put up in the periodic table. So magnesium, they don't specify the atomic mass of all the elements. Instead of all the isotopes, instead what they do is they take out the percentage abundance of all the atomic masses, take out the average of that, and that is what written down in the periodic table. So this calculation is must for you people to understand. Okay. Now here we have some more examples when we talk about the isotopes. Now so we need to understand this is what we define the isotopes are. The two atoms, these are basically not two, these are isotopes are said to be. Isotopes are the atoms of the same element. They are the atom of the same element with the same proton number, but they have the different neutron number. Or you can define isotopes are the atoms, isotopes are the atoms of same element with same atomic number, but different atomic mass. So atomic mass can be different for an atom. So what they do is they take out the percentage abundance. How much is it abundant when you take out altogether 100 atoms? Out of those 100 atoms, which isotope is in what percentage? So that is basically known as percentage abundance. So when you have the percentage abundance of each atom, isotopic atom, right? You take out the percentage average of all those isotopic abundance relative to the atomic mass, you will get one atomic mass, which is known as relative atomic mass. Now, this means that the isotopes are the atom of the same element. Absolutely. This means they have the different atomic masses. And this different atomic masses is because of the different neutrons in the nuclei. So that is what the gist we are supposed to understand. And all these isotopes, they are existing in different percentages, right? So they are, further we can add on this, they are existing in different percentage abundance, in different percentage abundance. Okay, till here it's clear? Okay, let's proceed further. Now here we are comparing the isotopes of magnesium, which we have seen. So there is one isotope which is of magnesium 24, the second atom which is said to be magnesium 25, and the third one, there are three isotopes, that's magnesium 26. Now they have the similarity in the protons. See, the proton number is same, but the number of neutrons is actually different. And because of the number of neutrons there, they're having a different masses. That means 24, 25, and 26. Because the number of protons are same, so the number of electrons are also same. So the isotopic mass is actually 24, 25, and 26. Okay. Now, I've showed you how to calculate one atomic mass when you have the different isotopic mass. Now, let's compare the isotopes with reference to the similarities and differences. Now, when you talk about the similarities, what are the similarities? They have the same number of protons and they have the same number of electrons, because in an atom, the number of protons are same as the number of electrons, right? So whatever the number of protons you have, the same number of electrons. So the proton number in magnesium is 12. So the electron number will remain same, that's 12. Now, I've already told you that all the electrons, they do not exist in the same shell. So if we have a 12 electrons and 12 protons, so the configuration, the first shell K, L, M, N, these are the shell numbers, names. The references we call them with. So the first shell can hold 2 electrons, the next can hold 8 electrons, and whatever is left, that is there in the M shell. So the last shell is actually known as, the last shell electrons are known as valence electrons. And the chemical properties of any element depends on the valence electrons. So all these isotopes of magnesium, because they have the same number of electrons, so they have the same number of valence electrons. And because they have the same number of valence electron, so their chemical properties are going to be same, because the valence electrons, on the valence electron depends your chemical properties. So these are the similarities, right? Coming to the differences, we already know that they have a different neutron number, and because of that, they have the different atomic masses, right? They have the different atomic masses. Now, that is why the atomic masses are different, right? And one more thing is, because their masses are different, that one is has a mass of 24, another one has a mass of 25, and the third one has a mass of 26. So some of the physical properties are going to be different, right? Now, what are those physical properties which are going to be different? Like, for example, the rate of diffusion, okay, the way they will be diffusing anywhere. So rate of diffusion is going to be different, and then their densities are going to be different. So these are some of the physical properties which are going to be different, right? So this is what we are supposed to know when we compare the different isotopes there. Fine. Is it clear till here? Let's proceed further. Let's see what else we have. Isotopic abundance in percentage. A sample of magnesium is a mixture of the three isotopes, as I already showed you. Each isotope is a fraction of that mixture. If we take, let's suppose, 100 atoms, so some of the atoms will be belonging to magnesium 24, some will be of magnesium 25, and some will be of magnesium 26. We have already seen that picture. So when we take 100 atoms, so the isotopes, they will be having a different percentage abundance, which is expressed in percentage. So they will be mixed together, and out of those 100 atoms, some will be 24, some will be having the mass 25, some will be having mass 26. Now the isotopic abundance is fixed for every element. That is something very, very important. Now every time we take the 100 atoms of magnesium, we will have the same percentage abundance for all the isotope. If we take 100 atoms of carbon, we'll be having the same percentage abundance of all the isotope, which makes the carbon. Is it clear? So this percentage is fixed. It's not like a oxygen ka sample, you take it from Karachi, or the oxygen sample you take from Lahore, you'll have the different isotopic percentages there. No, it's the same. Okay, so this proportion of the isotopes in that fraction is in that proportion is going to be same. Then I told you that on the basis of the percentage abundance, this is the percentage abundance, 79% is 24, 10% 5, 11% is 26. So on the basis of the percentage abundance, when we calculate the average of all these, we will be getting the answer as 24.32. So in O levels, what do is we don't take the relative atomic masses in decimal, we round it off to a whole number, except for chlorine. Chlorine is the only exception, only one element whose isotopic abundance is of an isotopic abundance is different. We'll take its example further in the same session. Its relative atomic mass is the only element's mass which is taken as 35.5, right? So only one example we see where the atomic mass is taken as in the fraction, but the rest of the elements, their atomic masses are being rounded off to the whole number. So on calculation, whatever the answer we have, we'll be rounding it off, and that is the atomic mass we will be mentioning for a magnesium in the periodic table. I hope this is clear. So the average atomic mass is actually the mass of all the isotopic mass for a particular atom. So when you calculate the average atomic mass, you need to know the three information. The three, number one, how many isotope it has, what is the mass of each isotope, and the percentage abundance of each isotope. When you have this information, you will be taking out the average on the basis of the isotopic mass, and that is how you'll be calculating. Now, this is the problem one we have already done for magnesium. Then this is the second one where they have the isotopes of silver, and the silver has two isotopes. One is silver 107, this is actually the isotopic mass, which is said to be 107. There is another isotope which is taken as 109. Now, the percentage abundance of isotope of 107 is 51.8, and 109 is basically 48.2. This is percentage abundance for this particular isotope. What we will do is, now on the basis of the percentage abundance, we'll take the atomic mass, we'll take the average of that, and that is overall answer is going to be our relative molecular mass. You can check it out yourself. So we have the percentage of 107, it's 51.8%, divide by 100 times 107. We have to take out the average. So the second percentage abundance of the next isotope is 48.2, right? Times 109, right? So when you'll take out the average of it, so it's coming 107.9, which will be round off to the next whole number, that's going to be 108. Fine. So silver is mentioned as 108 with the atomic mass of 108 in the periodic table. I hope this is clear. So this is the second example we have done. Fine. Now here we have the next one. This is another type of question which we get in the exams. Now in this particular problem, they have given us the two isotopes of boron. The boron exists in two natural occurring isotopes. There is boron 10 and there is boron 11. Okay, so you have boron 10 and you have boron 11. Fine. Now these two isotopes, basically they have given their average atomic mass of boron overall after calculation is 10.81 atomic mass unit, right? But they have not given you the percentages. They're asking you to calculate the relative abundance. They're asking you to calculate the percentage abundance of each isotope. Now the mass is given. Now what they're saying is that to solve this kind of a question where the percentage abundance they're asking you, so what we assume is that the percentage abundance of all the isotope should be taken as 1. Okay. And then for the percentage abundance for the first one, we are going to take X. And the second one, we will be taking it 1 minus X. So whatever the second one is, we are going to subtract X from the total net abundance. We are taking it 1, or we can take it 100. So we'll make it 100 minus X. So if you're assuming that all the isotopes are altogether is taken as 1, so X percentage abundance, we are going to subtract from that. And then we will be forming an equation. Okay, we'll be constructing an equation like this. So this is how we'll be doing. So atomic mass is given in the question. So that's 10.81. We'll write it down. Then this is X atomic mass was 10.0. And we have to take out the average. So 1 minus X is the second isotope whose atomic mass is 11.01. So when you will compute the value for X, we are getting it 0.20. Now, because it's in the percentage, so this is when you will be taking out this X in the form of a percentage, we'll say it's actually 20%. So if X is 20%, which is basically my first isotope, whose atomic mass is 10.01, okay, so boron 10 is actually 20%. Then automatically the second isotope, we know if you'll subtract 20 from 100, we will be getting the second mass as 80%. So this is the second kind of a question which we'll be getting in the paper, where in this question, you will be asked to find out the percentage abundance of the two isotopes when the atomic mass is given. So we have done the two type of question. First, where the percentage abundance and the relative isotopic mass is given, they're asking you to find out the atomic mass for that element. The second problem here, they are giving you the atomic mass and the isotopes isotopic mass, and they're asking you to calculate the percentage abundance of each isotope. So these type of two questions, they come in our exams. Okay. So this is the third example where we are doing the calculating the relative atomic mass of the chlorine. Now, chlorine is the only element whose atomic number is given as 17 and the atomic mass in the periodic table is mentioned as 35.5. The rest of the elements, we know every element exists in its isotopic form, but actually the relative atomic masses are converted into the whole number, and they're mentioned in the periodic table. Okay, so sometimes if the students, they don't have an idea about that, the isotopic masses on the basis of the percentage abundance, when they're taken an average, we get the relative atomic mass. So there is a question in the past paper which says that why the chlorine's atomic mass is taken as 35.5. Does it mean that it has a half proton or a half neutron? So they just want to confirm that does the student has this concept of the percentage abundance of the isotopes, and we have to average that and get the atomic mass. So you will say that this is not the 35.5 is not because of the half proton or half neutron, but because the chlorine, it exists in its two isotopic forms, and each isotopic form has its percentage abundance. And on the basis of the percentage abundance, when you take the average of their isotopic mass, you will get the relative atomic mass of chlorine as 35.5. So this is not why it has 35.5. It's not because it has a half proton or a half neutron. And we are further confirming this by the calculations. Now, there are two isotopes of chlorine. One is actually taken as 35 and another one is taken as chlorine 37. So this is an actual mass of relative atomic mass, but I'm taking it as 35 and as 37. Okay, though they have taken the exact masses of an isotope in this calculation. Now, chlorine 35 is existing as 75.80 and 37 is existing as 24.20%. So as we have done the previous examples, we are going to take the average on according to the atomic masses, the percentage abundance, and the isotopic masses. So this is the percentage abundance for the first isotope, which is 34.69. Its isotopic mass. The second one is considered as 37. So this is the percentage abundance of this one. So when you will compute, you will get the answer that is 35.5. Relative, this is the relative atomic mass. So this, they take it as 35.5. So this doesn't mean that it has a half proton or neutron. This is because of their difference in the atomic mass and the difference in the percentage abundance. So when you take an average of these, you get the atomic mass. So this is the only example which is mentioned in the decimal in your periodic table. Okay.